Hey guys, happy Friday. This is Vladis here of Vladis Gaming, and today I'm doing another reaction video on someone new. We did have the office hours with Vaknar and Roshan, and I heard this guy talk about having a YouTube channel. I ended up finding him. His name is Dank RNG. He has a video out called Will Ashes Creation Have Enough PvP Content? In an MMO that is forced PvP, I sincerely doubt that, but let's just see what he has to say and go from there, all right? Okay. Oh no. Honestly, that should be World of Warcraft for me. Oh, Steven, save me. Save me! We can only hope.
What's up, guys? Today I wanted to do a video on what we know Ashes of Creation has to offer to the PvP driven players such as myself. We got a little bit more information regarding PvP thanks to the AMA with Steven this week, and I think now would be a really good time to go over some of the systems we currently have information on. It seems like we're going to have a lot, if not all of these features on display in Alpha 2, and I honestly cannot wait to finally have a game with enough PvP options to keep things from getting stale.
I mean, the PvP options in Ashes of Creation, if you were just to go on the wiki, are pretty crazy, so I'm really just wondering why he thinks there's not enough, but we'll see.
Now, I'm not going to go too into depth into each one, as this is intended to be more of an overview, and later on I'm going to be diving deeper into each system as we get closer to Alpha 2, so that we have a better understanding and I'm not just making everything up.
Hopefully.
So we're going to start off with World PvP, as that's what the majority of players will be dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, they will.
And I mean, honestly, we have tons of reasons to engage in World PvP. I mean, we have fighting over resources, hunting grounds, caravans, bounty hunting, castle sieges, guild wars, and of course everyone's favorite, loot. Ashes of Creation uses the corruption system to determine what kind of penalties will be applied to the player while corrupted and on death. Now, I found a phenomenal interview that Summit 1G did with Steven, and that explains things a little bit better, so let's get into that and we'll talk more.
So the way it works is players will exist out in the open, and they will be in a non-combatant state. Right, so they'll have a normal name color. You know, it'll be green. If you roll up and you see somebody and you want to attack them, you can attack them, right? And your name will now change to a purple color. You'll flag essentially. Now, what this does is it lets anybody attack you, and they'll flag as well. They'll become a combatant, right? And if anybody dies while they're flagged, there's no harm done. You actually lose less from an experience standpoint. You drop less material and gatherables, not your items, not completed items. So it encourages reciprocation in fighting, right?
Wait, time out. Before we move on, you're telling me you kill people, they can drop just like little potions and stuff, even if they're a combatant?
No, a potion is a completed item. So the only thing you can drop, you'll drop a portion of, is your gathered resources. So those are like plants and rocks or stone or gems, stuff like that, that you have yet to put into your warehouse. And then
I believe it's gatherables and processed goods. So any kind of gathering or anything that is processed that's in your bags can drop if you were to pass away or die while in PvP.
Or your processed goods. So essentially a processed good is, let's say I take that, you know, that iron or that mithril, and I go create with my freehold, I put it into my smelter, and I create, you know, these ingots of those, which are then able to be used alongside recipes for crafting certain things, right? So you can drop a lesser portion of the materials and a greater portion of the raw gatherables.
Dude, so you can, it's kind of like Rust or like War Z. You have to kind of like make it back to town safe and get all your stuff back into your spot.
Exactly. However, this is what I would say. So when you attack another person and you flag and they fight you back, right, no corruption can be gained from that. That's consensual PvP. People are engaging that. But if the person does not fight back and you continue to attack them and you kill them without them having flagged, at that point you gain corruption. And corruption is a stat that accrues depending on two things. One, the number of previous kills you have, PKs where people didn't fight back, and 2, the level difference between you and the target that you killed, right? So if you kill a much lower level person, you're going to gain much more corruption. Now, corruption has a few effects on a player. One, if you have corruption, you now have the ability to drop completed gear that you're wearing if you die. Okay, so there's a small percentage chance that when you die, you'll drop, like, let's say your gloves, or a lesser chance of dropping your weapon, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens as well is the death penalties that happen.
And just stop right here real quick. I'm sorry. I'm just like trying to listen to everything. PvP and of course the corruption system has to be severely tested. And I know there's a huge portion of people that don't quite understand the corruption system. They feel like the corruption system doesn't go far enough. I know right now people have been watching the Lucky Ghost video that's been going around. And the main point in that video was, oh, I can basically go and grief people by stunning tanks, and, causing, that kind of a problem. And Steven confirmed in the comment section of that video that if you aren't flag, if you're green and then you're trying to get someone else that's green, like, you won't be able to use your CCs on those targets. Like, you just won't be able to. So you have to open up with some kind of a physical combat. And then of course you're going to flag purple once that happens. So I think a lot of it is going to have to be severely tested. And I understand the whole trepidation with not only just the Ashley creation community, but just the overall general MMO community. But I feel like if we can get to a really healthy place with the corruption system, we can actually have a really good game on our hands. So we just got to give them a chance.
From a normal death, get quadrupled if you're corrupt and you die. So
Yes.
there is experience debt that can be gained from death, and you'll gain 4 times that experience debt if you die while corrupt. Additionally, your location as a corrupt player is broadcast to the bounty hunters of the world. So there are 4 different node types, of which one is a military node type. The military node type comes with a bounty hunter system that players can opt into and progress in. While they're a bounty hunter, they see the location of corrupt players in the world, and they can chase them down and fight. And then there are benefits for the corrupt player and or the bounty hunter based off of their success in killing one another. And the corrupt player doesn't gain more corruption for killing bounty hunters. Bounty hunters are always flagged to corrupt players.
Dude, that's so cool. That's almost like people will be able to make their money just being mercenaries in your game, dude. Just
right. So yeah, the flagging system actually really discourages griefing in the sense of PKing players. So in Lineage 2, Lineage 2 had a very similar system called Karma. Karma didn't have some of these components to them, but you rarely saw in Lineage 2 people going red. I mean, it happened, right? But it wasn't all the time. It wasn't super prevalent. You didn't go out of town each day and worry about getting PK'd.
Right. And I think that's going to be the same thing in Ashes of Creation. I think once people understand the heavy penalties of becoming corrupted, there's not going to be a lot of that going on. And what I feel is going to happen is going to be the flip side of what is currently going on, that it's going to feel like a PvE world because the world PvPers are up in a tizzy because the corruption penalties are too severe. And again, Steven has always touted the corruption system as not being an incentive to do so. It's a de-incentive to grief. Like, if you want to kill somebody, it's going to come at a price, and it's going to come at a hefty price. So I feel like once we get into Alpha 2 and people really understand the hefty price that it's going to cost, there's going to be a lot of PvPers that aren't going to be willing to do it. They say they will be, but we'll see.
In that sense, we put a little bit more safety nets here to kind of discourage griefing and encourage consensual PvP, right? Those death penalties get halved. You lose less items if you fight back. These are some of the systems in place to kind of encourage that.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, after watching through days of content and reading countless wiki posts, it looks like Intrepid is really taking the time to make sure there's a ton for PvPers to do. And that all the systems are really well thought out as to not promote complete chaos, which inevitably would cause players to quit, as it's done time and time again. The corruption systems and bounty systems alone are something that we haven't had in MMORPGs for a long time, and I'm not quite sure why we ever got rid of them in the first place. Now, before this video gets too long,
I just want to say, I think the reason why they got rid of him is because most MMOs followed the WoW clone formula, and it's just easier just to have PvE and PvP servers, which what I think the general audience has very much gotten used to. So anytime we use the word PvX or mention that you can't toggle off PvP, that's what kind of hinders a lot of people, because they think from those MMOs that they played where there is no kind of corruption system, you can just literally get griefed for countless hours, get spawn camped for countless hours. They think that's going to happen in Ashes. So why would you willingly? I wouldn't want to participate in something like that. But again, I'm educated in the fact that I know the corruption system. I know what it's trying to do. But there's a lot of people who don't. So, like I said, I think a lot of people are going to have a big open mind's eye whenever they actually get into Ashes of Creation themselves.
I'd like to briefly discuss a few of the topics in the AMA regarding PvP. We saw that when nodes get destroyed in Siege or Decay, they will become lootable ruins for a few days or more, depending on the level of node. Now, this is going to be an open PvP area that you will need time and tools to scavenge, and it'll also give surrounding nodes the chance to level up before this node can be rebuilt. And we also got some information regarding nameplate visibility, which is actually extremely important considering how much information we actually get off of players from their nameplates, which I'll do a video on soon. Because I don't think a lot of you really understand how much information we'll be getting from them. Now, Steven said that we will not have prone in the game, and they're still trying to decide if we're going to have crouching, but that line of sight will play a factor, and that there will be certain abilities that reduce your visibility. Now, that could be items that you create and use as abilities. It might be class-specific skill abilities. We'll have to see. Next up, we had a question regarding the render distance or view distance of others on the sea, and the response was that it'll be similar to on land. However, ships will have further render distances, so you'll be able to see a ship further out there in the sea than you can see a person, which makes sense. But that will also have attachments on ships based on what type of ship it is. It will determine how many attachments you can have on the ship, and these attachments will give you different bonuses, like radar or a spyglass, etc. That's about all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and come check me out on my Twitch channel sometime. We stream pretty regularly, and I'm going to be streaming full-time once Ashes does release. Catch you next time, man. Stay lit.
I'm just a little confused. The Ashes is, will Ashes of Creation have enough PvP content? And we never even got into that question. I'm just confused. I liked the video. Video was good. You know, it talked about all the different things you're going to be able to do in PvP. I feel like this video should be like, you know, an overview of Ashes of Creation, you know, PvP content or something to that effect. I think the title is kind of misleading in that sense. But your actual video itself and the things that you did, especially linking to the Steven interview, again, I think a lot of people severely underestimate PvP, and they want to have that kind of PvE experience. And again, I feel like Ashes, especially certain servers, will be very PvE centric, and there probably won't be a lot of PvE happening. There will be more PvP happening probably on certain servers. I think there's going to be a healthy amount of PvP on all servers, but you're going to have more servers that are going to be more centric towards like naval PvP or just open world PvP. And then you have like an RP server that's just like, you know, they're all chilling. They're just, you know, gathering, and kind of like no one really gets into PvP that often, you know. So I would just say that if you were on the fence of Ashes of Creation, just give it a chance. Just hell, even wait till Alpha 2 and just see for yourself. Follow your favorite streamer, whoever they are, hopefully me, because I'll be streaming during that time, and just see what happens. Just see how the world plays out. What did you guys think of this video? Brand new guy. I mean, like I said, I've never heard of him, but it's always super hard to find Ashes of Creation content creators here. But Dank RNG, I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to him because I subscribe to pretty much almost every Ashes of Creation content creator that I can come across. I am going to like his video, and I am going to leave a comment about the title just because, you know, it is a title, but at the end of the day, like, it's a good video. I hope to catch you guys next Friday for my next reaction, and just stay tuned for that. And there's gonna be a lot more on my channel. So thank you guys.